Management Corporation has launched an urgent court application against a private company, Tasima, over the eNCA system. It wants to force Tasima to hand over the system following a constitutional court order. The handover was meant to be done 30 days after the November ruling. Tasima's managed the eNCA system since 2001. Its contract was unlawfully extended in 2009, prompting the legal action by the RTMC and the Transport Department. eNCA is the official register for all vehicles, driving licenses and traffic infringements. Now the application will be heard at the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria today. Well, on the line is the spokesperson for the RTMC, Zwane. Good morning to you, Simon. Let's just talk about the court bid. The fact that you have to go back to court a second time to get this transfer of information from eNCA. Why are they refusing with this data? That is Tasima, that is.
Well, they've been raising a number of reasons. Firstly, they approached the Constitutional Court to say they want an interpretation of the order because they believe that it should take them 11 months to hand over this thing, and the court dismissed that and didn't give them a hearing. And they've been going to court. They went to court again to demand payment from us, and now Telkom has given them until today to pay, or they will switch off the system. So that's why we're in court, to prevent a pending disaster which would happen if Telkom could switch off this system, because it will mean then that people want to register their vehicles, law enforcement officers want to check and verify ownership of details of vehicles that have been involved in crime and all that, will not be able to do that. Even banks will not be able to use the system to register new vehicles, and motor dealerships will also not be able to change ownership of vehicles.
When you talk about the payment of money, Simon, how much money does Tasima believe that it's owed, and who needs to pay them this money?
Well, they believe that we have to pay them money, or the Department of Transport and us must pay them money. I think at the moment, the last check, their claims were amounting to more than 100 million rand. But we can't pay. We don't have any contract with them. The contract that they had been declared unlawful and invalid. So they cannot insist on payments when they do not even have a contract.
And where does Telkom then come into this whole equation, Simon? Because you're saying that Telkom is the one that's threatening to cut off the system, to switch it off, essentially.
Yeah, Telkom links up the system throughout the country. You know that the system is internet-based, so Telkom comes in by providing the connectivity. So if the connectivity is to be switched off, there will be a major crisis in the country. And that's why we have to be in court urgently to try to get the court to force them to hand the system over to us with immediate effect. Because we've been ready since 2015, and we've made overtures to them to even take the people that they have employed, they are currently employing, to take them over so that they have a smooth takeover of the system. But they've been stalling these processes. And
at this point, I mean, I know that there is a case that is also underway in terms of the former transport minister and the irregularities that were found with regard to the extension of this contract. But have you been able to really get to the root of why this contract was even allowed to be extended?
Yes, that's a criminal matter. It's going to, it will be in court next week. So that's a separate. There were two matters. There was that as a criminal matter of corruption, and there was the civil claim, which went right up to the Constitutional Court, which Constitutional Court found that the contract was invalid and unlawful.
Do you think that at this point Tasima is basically holding the Transport Department to ransom, as it were, because if by the end of the day, as you say, Telkom does switch off the system, it would leave you in a bit of a crisis, wouldn't it?
Yes, so we believe that they are in breach of the Constitutional Court ruling of November, and their actions could plunge the country into crisis. If Telkom is not paid by end of business today, there will be a major crisis in the country.
Is there any other mechanism of or mediation effort, Simon, that you're also trying to perhaps get involved in a parallel with the court process, or are you leaving it simply in the hands of the court?
Well, we have tried the other processes from when the court made the decision. We've been trying to get them to have discussions with them, but all of those have they come up with delaying tactics and stalling all those processes. That's why we are where we are now, where we must then get the court to force them to hand over.
What do you think is at the heart of Tasima's actions? What motives do you believe are driving them now? I mean, the court has made it clear that they have to hand over this information, but they insist on not doing it. Do you think that there's corruption involved there?
Well, it's baffling to us. I wouldn't want to speculate as to what are their reasons. They're best to answer that question. But it is baffling to us because the court was very clear and specific. Said hand over the system in 30 days. That was clear and specific. Everybody understood it.
All right. That was the Road Traffic Management Spokesperson, Simon Zwane.